Alright, guys, so this is my first time trying to film anything in here, but standing here in my food forest that I began to create 3 years ago, and say it's like my version of a food forest. Um, Permaculture is such a big word, and it's such a huge subject, but so people do call this a permaculture site. But when it comes to permaculture, I've always been big on the philosophy of it, and I don't geek out on garden stuff like a lot of people do. And I always tell people I don't have a green thumb. I don't. Like, if you left me a tray of seedlings, they would die. You know, I'm just horrible at that shit. So I what I tried to create here is a system of plants, perennial plants that will grow that I could totally neglect. Like, considering native species and things that are drought tolerant and pest and disease resistant, right? And then another big thing for me is that I get to be creative. So it's only 3 years in the making, and in the first couple years, you couldn't really, people didn't know what was going on, but in this third year, people are really starting to be impressed, which is cool. In the very beginning, what was cool too is few people would stand on the land and they would be like, whoa, what's going on here? And that always encouraged me to keep going. One of the most beautiful people I've ever met in my life, when she first stepped on this land, she really got me excited, because she's like, what's going on here? And she kept me motivated. So, and now to this day, people keep coming more and more, and they're feeling this energy. It keeps growing, and it's a good feeling. There are other people who they just don't know what's going on, but it's about at least 1 out of 5 people now that you get that. I love that when, they feel something, special energy here. So let's see if I can shoot up a bit. Well, here's something I created. A little meditation pyramid inside of this blackberry circle. I actually put a little sign there for the hornets that are visiting. And just outside this circle, we have our bamboo stand for the CSA, because the organic farm carries on yonder. But outside this circle, I got a lot of sunflowers going. But all kinds of stuff. Loaded with blueberries. I got a lot of grapes, which I'm going to train next year in trellis. More creation, meditative spaces. So many strawberries. A little Asian pear. And then there's the grapes that I let go wild. And I a lot of experimental, like to see what can grow in this soil. That is a pawpaw tree. Beyond there are fig trees and elderberries, which we adopted from the neighboring farm, and has actually been the greatest cash crop I've had so far. I like to do stuff with crystals and get experimental with energy and kind of that metaphysical realm of including into growing. So I got pawpaws all around. This will be another enclosure of pawpaws, and strawberries all up in here, and there's another little pyramid in there. Let's go over there. because this is actually beautiful right now. If you wanted to go hang out in there and meditate inside the copper pyramid. Again, figs, elderberries, and then looking back. So this all started out with wood chips. I got 20 truckloads of wood chips dumped here on a 1/4 acre. And I knew that I needed at least 2 feet. I was like 18 inches to 2 feet of wood chips to keep the weeds suppression. And then the other, of course, factor was for it to be a rain harvesting system, to have the wood chips absorb the rainwater and store the water. And what I did was, and hopefully I can include some pictures in this video, is then I carved out with a pitchfork trenches to put compost, and from the sky you could see the design. It's really cool. But anyway, my battery's getting a little low. I got lots of clover in here, nitrogen fixing, and I went with more little baby pawpaws, which I was happy to have a group of homeschool kids come and plant them last year. It was a beautiful thing. And American persimmon. So both these trees are native to North America, and as far as I know, pest and disease free. So I don't want to have to, like, I know the whole guilds thing is cool, but I really don't want to, like, I don't have like the whole green thumb for it at this point. More elderberries here. And this is the first point where I've actually kind of let the weeds get ahead of me. But man, 3 years, no weeds. It's incredible. On a farm like this where the farmers are tilling all out there, always complaining and fighting the weeds, and I haven't had to fight the weeds at all. The only main thing here that's required is patience. And this food's gonna grow. These elderberries are sick. They were planted in 2018. It's 2021. They're monstrous. So this is a crazy little contorted Pakistani mulberry. There's blueberries in there, grapes. Oop, I don't want to bother that spider. I won't walk through his web, or her web, whatever. These are some hazelnuts here. And then the beautiful pines, which this is why I chose this spot, because I knew I could extend off of these pines. And if you go down, if you look down the line here to the neighboring farms, cut through here, you see those pines, and they've always just been mowed and mowed and mowed and mowed next to them. And you know, this land, all it really wants to do is become a forest. But it keeps getting mowed down, and so my intention here is to make it a food forest, you know? Let it be what it wants to be, but also with me as the caretaker and steward growing food. And I just know, I talk to these pine trees and they're just so happy to, like, you know, be the, like, parents or of this, the overseers of the creation of this land.